by the Dublin manager, Anthony Daly. Anthony, a deserved victory for Galway?
Yeah, definitely, Darren. Tight and tense and very tactical, as tactical a hurling game as I've ever seen, I think. But overall, the better team won, and certainly whatever was said at half-time by Anthony Cunningham and Matty and Tom, it worked the oracle. They came out and they took the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half, and deservedly pushed on. You know, maybe we all felt a goal at any stage would have been the decisive score, but they won it on points.
Just finally and very briefly, 24 long years since they've won it. You know all about waiting for winning trophies. Can they do it in the final?
Yeah, I think they've every chance, and I don't think they'll fear. You know, obviously people will talk about a backlash from Kilkenny if it's them, but I think next week's one is very hard to call. It's very much 50-50, and even if Kilkenny do get to the final, I think Galway are playing without fear this year. They're really saying, look, let's be the best we can be, and let's see where it takes us. And I think that's the way they'll approach the final, and they seem very grounded. We saw on the pitch here, like, they celebrated for a minute or two, but then straight away there was a few words said, and back to normal, and already they're thinking ahead, I think, to the 9th of September.
I'm sure they are. Anthony Daly, thanks for your time, and remember there'll be highlights of today's game on the...
Well, I think we showed tremendous heart there, particularly in the second half and maybe right through as well. But fantastic. You would have to applaud Cork for a brilliant game. I mean, they brought some ferocious intensity and some brilliant hurling to the table. But I think we matched them there in the second half and went ahead of them slightly now. I mean, it was touch and go there for a while, but I mean, we showed tremendous character.
I thought our players showed great spirit. Very, very proud of them. They made a marvellous effort. And I think a bit of inexperience maybe cost us in the end that we did resort to high long balls into the square. It didn't really help our cause. We're trying to get the players to spread out a bit, but they're inexperienced and they learn from that, hopefully.
It's been 7 years since we hurled in August, and we were just delighted to get the opportunity to come back and hurl in an All-Ireland semi-final. But it's a great feeling at the moment to be in another All-Ireland final, you know. So the dressing room, the panel of players are absolutely thrilled in there, so it's absolutely brilliant, yeah.
Look, it's nothing to get carried away with. We still have a lot of improvement. I mean, as any team and as any coach or any manager will tell you, and that's the way it goes. And we'll be all set for the final, but it'll take some winning.
Yeah, and there you see, Galway the years deserves it. But how does today's performance compare with the one against Kilkenny?
Well, I was delighted the way today turned out for them, because they weren't as flamboyant as against Kilkenny. They didn't race into 20-point lead or 17-point lead. They had to fight for every score, level at half-time. But I think their intensity and their strength in the air was fantastic, and their scoring ability. Like, they have the more or less kind of, Anthony's brought in a kind of a blanket defence at times with the football strategy coming to it. But up front, you always had Joe Cannon and you always had Damien Hayes, two brilliant players. But now you have David Burke, Niall Burke, James Regan was talking to the night, 21 match between Clare and Tip. He didn't know how to be on or not, and he was kind of saying he'd be ready if he was asked to win. They were like, he's a very good hurler as well. They begin to fire on all cylinders. Tannian and Smith midfield are really kind of helping out, worked very hard as went on, they got completely on top. And Niall Donoghue from a club called Kilbacon, a junior club, intermediate club, small club in South Galway. Becoming of age, Tony O'Regan, fine game. You know, Fergal Moore burst out through Johnny Cohen. These lads are beginning to really put their mark on it, and I have a feeling like, OK, Tip or Kilkenny are going to be very hard to beat, but Galway won't mind who they're playing at the moment, because at the way they're going, it's like a jigsaw days. They have the pieces, and the pieces are coming together, and I firmly believe this could be a great year for Galway.
What about the Cork perspective from today?
Yeah, look, I mean, you get to an All-Ireland semi-final, maybe a lot of the players, maybe some of the Cork public were saying maybe we're in bonus territory because we're building a new team, and I don't think Jimmy and any selectors and maybe the majority of players were thinking that way as well. You get to an All-Ireland semi-final, you want to go on and win it, you know, so, I mean, they gave a great account of themselves. I mean, first half, I think it went very, very well for them. They tactically put Steve McDonald and Damien Hayes. They had Brian Murphy on Joe Canning, and we see at some stage in the first half Joe Canning was back in his own half back line trying to get ball. I mean, that suited Cork down to go in a half time 11 points apiece. Yeah, you would say more of the same in the second half, but Galway after the break came out a different team, and Cyril alluded to maybe a 7-man defence, everybody back behind the ball and stuff like that, and Cork just lost their way completely. We didn't have the physical presence in our half-forward line, and that is probably a big concern. Second match in a row that your whole half-forward line is taking off again, and not enough kind of goal-scoring chances created. And I mean, it was a case of maybe 10 minutes to go, the game was still in the melting pot, but you always felt that with Joe Canning, with David Burke, with Damien Hayes and these guys, they were in better scoring form today. And for once, I suppose the substitutions for Cork didn't work. We've seen the last couple of matches, the Noctons coming on, the Sweetmans coming on. When the play had opened up, today in the second half period, there was no play allowed to open up. And I think Anthony Cunningham must take a lot of credit for that, because he said, OK, the substitutions will happen for Cork. We will close down the game, get in front, and we will close up shop.
All right, we'll look at that a bit more in a moment. But it's interesting to us, you refer to the Cork half-forward line and maybe not being settled. In contrast, you were hugely impressed with the Galway half-forward line.
Yeah, well, I think what Galway did, they play a man very deep. They have 7 defenders, and their half-forward line, David Burke, Niall Burke and James Regan, they scored 2 points each in play, but they worked very, very hard. And Damien Hayes and Joe Canning got 4 points apiece from play inside, which is a huge return from a forward line from play. So they're not relying on Joe Canning anymore. But to me, this year, I think every year a player comes of age and becomes a superstar in the game. And I think this year we've seen that from David Burke. Now, he's around a couple of years now and he's been a very good midfielder. But I think the switch of him into the half-forward line has been crucial in Galway.
Award. The winner of the award, as selected by our co-commentator Donal O'Grady, is Fergal Moore.
Fergal, is that what we call leading by example?
Joanne, we're just hard to gather your thoughts after that. It was to and fro contest. It was very, very tough, real championship stuff, and a huge team effort from the lads. Very proud of them, and we're just delighted to get through now to the final. First of all, we'll enjoy tonight. We'll analyse the game and then we'll concentrate on the final. Typical Kilkenny will be playing next Sunday now, and they've been the benchmark for the last couple of years. They've been contesting All-Ireland finals in and out, so it's another huge step up for us again. But as I say, we'll enjoy tonight and we'll regroup on Tuesday night and we'll prepare for that.
And enjoy being man of the match. Fergal Moore, well done. Antonio Sullivan, representing Etihad today, is here to present you with your award.
Thanks.